Success is life on your terms, but it's also a meaningful life.
When on your road on success, there are going to be people that are constantly wanting you to do things for them. And if you really want to be successful, there are going to be moments and times where you're going to have to tell them no, because you can't always be doing what other people want. You have to take time and focus on yourself and do what you need to do in order to become successful. That way, you can achieve your dreams and not have other people use you to achieve their dreams.
On the subject of business, and have them say it was one of the greatest experiences of their life, and then more importantly, go out and produce the result.
You can use your time and your effort and your energy to pour into yourself in order to gain knowledge and information about whatever it is you want to be successful in, and transfer that into your own life instead of doing what everybody else wants you to do. Now, it may make some people upset, but they just don't understand that you have to look out for you at all times. You are your number one priority in life. You need to make sure that you're doing everything that you need to be doing. And if achieving your goals is one of those things, then by all means, you need to focus on that.
What makes people successful in their mind and their emotions, because pulling that gun, there's a certain amount of mechanics, but there's also a strategy of what you do in your head.
You need to take your time and put all the energy in and focus and constantly remind yourself that this is what you want to do, and go out there and do it. Don't let what other people tell you make your decision or not. Just focus on what you want and listen to what you want to hear. Don't let people tell you you can't do something or it's not possible. You always need to make sure that what you're doing is what you want to be done, because nobody else is going to go achieve your dreams for you. You are the only one who has control over that, and you're the only one who has the power and the potential to make that happen.
What we get will never make us happy. I don't care how many stars on your chart, how many Academy Awards, how much money you make. What makes us happy is progress. There's only one way you succeed long term. Anybody can get lucky, do something for a period of time, but real success in any measure whatsoever comes when you do more for others than anybody else. There's no other way to do it. You find a way to add more what? Value. And if we find the way to add more value, we can be superior in the marketplace, but we can also be superior in our own lives. We can enjoy our lives at a different level. We can have a different set of pride that isn't fake. It's not ego. Ego is when you try to make it better than it is, and you know the truth is it's not. But when you really are in a position, when you're in a position where you own what you're about, and you know what you're here to deliver, and you deliver it on a significant scale, then you have an opportunity to really experience not only success, but fulfillment. And this conference has gotten bigger and bigger, not only in its size, but also in its impact. And so I'm really privileged to be back with you here. And I know you're working to raise 1 million meals, and I'm very, very into hunger, to say the least, primarily because I was so hungry at a stage of my life. And my life was completely changed because when I was 11 years old, we had no money and no food, and we've gotten used to that, but it was Thanksgiving, which makes it more emotional. Because when you think it's the beginning, you behave differently than the end. You didn't learn it by just learning principles. You got in it and you did it so often that it became real. And my stuff isn't pre-programmed. You know, something happens in the room, I ask a question, and I play off what's going there. And 17 minutes, that's not gonna happen. I'm the why guy. I wanna know why you do what you do. What is your motive for action? What is it that drives you in your life today, not 10 years ago, or are you running the same pattern? Because I believe that the invisible force of internal drive activated is the most important thing in the world. I'm here because I believe emotion is the force of life. I don't know if I'm in the category, but we all know how to think. And with our minds, we can rationalize anything, we can make anything happen. We can, I agree with what was described a few days ago about this idea that people work in their self-interest, but we all know that you don't work in your self-interest all the time. Because when emotion comes into it, the wiring changes in the way it functions. And so it's wonderful for us to think intellectually about how the life of the world is, and especially those who are very smart. We can play this game in our head, but I really want to know what's driving you. And what I'd like to maybe invite you to do by the end of this talk is explore where you are today for 2 reasons. One, so that you can contribute more. I believe that leadership is really a skill of influence. It is the most important skill that any human being can master. And I don't think of leadership as a position. I see it as a skill, a tool that all of us have to have. In other words, the quality of your life, I really believe, comes down to your level of leadership. So I think to be able to influence the thoughts, the feelings, the emotions, and the actions of another human being, that's what leadership is. And quality leadership, obviously authentic leadership, is one where it's servant leadership. You're looking to influence those thoughts, feelings, emotions, and actions for a greater good, not just for yourself. And I think the people that master that, are the people that you know about. I mean, they're captains of industry. They're people that are celebrities because they've learned how to influence people. They are some of the greatest teachers, some of the greatest scientists, because you can't just come up with ideas. Ideas will die on your lips unless you become a person of influence. And that's what leadership is. If you're going to actually produce change, you've got to become a student of what actually works. Like, I have not lost a suicide out of thousands in my lifetime, knock on wood, in 38 years. And I'm the guy that gets the phone call when the kid is melting down. I got a phone call, President Clinton calling me, and he says to me, I'm going to impeach in the morning. What should I do? We all want to be able to change the way we feel. That's what I spend my life showing people how to do. And what most people don't know is emotion is created by motion. The way you move determines the way you feel. You have 80 different muscles in your face, 80. For most people, this is the largest area of unemployment in the country. They use the face the same way. They feel the same emotions over and over and over again. So what I was saying is I have this deal with myself called priming. And the reason is when you're grateful, you can't be worried. You can't be fearful. When you're grateful, you can't be angry. And anger and fear are what screw people up most in their relationships, in their life, in their business. So I wire myself. I was saying to you that most people want to be happy, but their habit is to be worried or pissed off or frustrated or stressed. And so they've got a highway to stress and they got a dirt road to happiness. So I wire myself. I've got a highway to gratitude, which changes all your emotions. And then I do a 3-minute process of kind of a prayer for my family and friends. And then I do a 3-minute process of the top 3 things I want to accomplish. I see it as done and I feel it. I'm done in 10 minutes. So sometimes I go 20, but my deal is 10, so there's no excuse not to do it, right? It's like, remember I said emotion comes from motion, and also a minute feels like an eternity when you don't like what you're doing.